Hey Thrivers, today I want to talk to you about what do you do when a narcissist is hurting somebody that you love. And this is such an important topic because you ask it all the time, and it's one thing to feel devastated and attacked ourselves, and another when those who we deeply adore and love are getting hurt and we feel powerless to help them. So what can you do? But before we get into that topic, I just want to quickly remind you about my upcoming Thrive program, my 10-week intensive bootcamp healing series, the Thrive membership program, where we had spectacular results with the global group from last May. And if you're struggling, if you haven't been able to break through yet, if you're finding it difficult to go within and hold and feel your wounds and let them go and up-level them, or if you're having battles that you just think you can't get through, I really encourage you to check out Thrive, which is melanietoniaevans.com/thrive, and you'll see the link with this video as well. Okay, so narcissists hurting people that we love could be a myriad of circumstances, but it could be such a thing as maybe you're with a partner and they're trying to separate their stuff from an ex-narcissistic partner, or maybe they're trying to co-parent with a narcissistic partner. Perhaps it's your parent that is your other parent is a narcissist, and you've moved away and you're getting on with your life, but you see what's happening to them, or another family member, or maybe it's your child when you're co-parenting with a narcissist and you're seeing the horrific things that your child is going through. Okay, so what can you do? Well, what you can do is actually completely counterintuitive to what you think you should be doing. Because this is the thing, the more that you try to jump in and change what is going on with a narcissist and what they're doing, the worse it generally gets. You see, this is the thing. Narcissistic abuse is a psychic phenomenon. It's a spiritual abnormality. It's actually spiritually very congruent, but it doesn't fit into our normal sense of life until you're prepared to look at it from a deeper level. Because what is really going on here is narcissists feed off fear and pain, and that's anybody's fear and pain. So for example, if a narcissist is hurting somebody who you love and it affects you, and there's a lot of fear for that person and you're feeling the pain and the devastation for them, then what happens is energetically, and we have to be open to this. You really need to be open to this to understand that narcissists are psychic vampires that are operating on an energetic, emotional level in the unseen world. Because the more that you get affected by that and the more that it hurts you, the more you mightn't realize it unconsciously, you're actually adding to the experience that's hurting that person. And it doesn't mean you're a bad person. In fact, it's really normal, human, and compassionate to care about others and worry about others and feel a lot of pain for them regarding what they're going through. And I know a lot of you are sensitives and intuitives, and it's very, very normal for you to do that. But what we are doing as a collective, as humanity, coming out of the throes and the hooks and the chains of narcissistic abuse and trauma, is to understand a deeper, more powerful way to combat this. Now, what is that? I can absolutely 100% talk from my own experience, and I can also talk about the experience of many people who are thrivers in this community who have been able to break through from narcissistic abuse, not just for themselves, but also assist those that they love. Okay, now how I have learned to tackle narcissistic abuse and the fallout of it, including other people, including all of you in this community, is to realize what's going on at an energetic, emotional level. Everybody, including my previous self that was caught up in narcissistic abuse, is going through a significant soul evolution opportunity. By being plunged into the depths of darkness, they have the ability, the opportunity really, and hopefully the ability to be able to turn inwards, self-partner, and be able to evolve themselves beyond narcissistic abuse into their true self and their true life with a connection with true source, rather than handing their power away to a false source, which is what a narcissist is. So for ourselves, when we're in that situation, the only thing that we have the power to change is our own consciousness and our own inner being. You will never change a narcissist. You will only change yourself. Now, in regard to other people, and I 100% went through this with my son, I've been through it with friends that I deeply care about, and other people, all sorts of situations, not just them going through the struggles with a narcissist, other things as well, because it works for all of it. So what I discovered, how I can help them so much, is not by focusing on how terrible and shocking their situation is and how powerless they are and how they're not awake and how they're not getting it, and then to try to lecture and prescribe to them from a foundation of my beliefs of, you don't get it, you're not empowered, you're handing your power away, you're getting smashed, you're getting destroyed, and I'm going to tell you about that, and I'm going to lecture and prescribe to you to try to wake you the hell up. I think all of us who've tried that have discovered it didn't work. And in fact, you can push people further into narcissistic abuse, especially things like your girlfriends or male friends or your children. Let's say, you've got older children in a relationship with a narcissist, or your mum or your dad with a narcissist. And generally what will happen is that person will push back against your view of it and cement themselves into the situation even deeper. And the reason for that is the quantum law of so within, so without, which really simply means if I try to change you, get you to do something different, to change, so that I can change how I feel about you, it will never work. It's a system that is always set up to fail because it defies quantum law, which is as absolute as gravity. You can't beat the law. The law is so within, so without. Now, if I want to change somebody's experience with health or narcissistic abuse or whatever it is, I have to change how I feel about them and how I see them, so that as per the quantum law of so within, so without, if I get a shift on the inside, how they will be in my experience will shift to match it. It's an absolute quantum law. So just as an example, I had a beautiful girlfriend, her name was Kathy, with a narcissistic person, horrible. And of course, I did the girlfriend thing and I lectured and prescribed and I tried to get her to see what she was doing. And of course it didn't work. And then she pulled away from me because I'm a resistance to what she's hooked into and what she's addicted to and what her beliefs and her unhealed traumas are. Her inner love code, which is the people I love me hurt me. That's what she was playing out unconsciously at that stage, which was cemented in. I'm trying to rattle that belief and get her to change her inner love code against her will, which means she's only going to dig deeper into it, which is exactly what happened. She pulled away from me. So this was years ago. And I realized this because I'd done enough of the quantum journey on myself. And, one night I'm sitting down by myself and bingo, I understood the absolute truth. So what I did is I used my inner healing tool, which is quantum freedom healing. And I did a quantum freedom healing on myself to pick up the traumas that I was feeling about Kathy, about all the hurt I was feeling for her. And I picked it up and I let it go and I brought in source and I kept releasing and dissolving away that trauma inside of me and bringing in source, which was this solid knowing and understanding that she's in a soul journey. This is perfect for her no matter how it looks. Everything's in perfect and divine order, because that is the soul truth on this. And I came to a peace on it. And then because I knew how to, I thought, okay, I'm going to take this further if Kathy's higher self gives me permission to. So I set up a proxy healing in my own body. And we talk about this in my programs. So for example, if you're a NARPA, you can come into the NARP Members Forum and we can talk to you about proxy healings, how you can help heal your kids and do healings in your body for other people, because it is beyond powerful and I'm going to explain it. So I set up a proxy healing using my body as her body, and I checked in with her higher self for permission to do that, and I got a very strong intuitive hit on a yes, and I had a muscle test that gave me a yes. And what I did is I just breathed and opened up and I targeted the traumas in my body that were generating her staying and being stuck in that relationship. I did 3 nights of healings on it because it was a lot. Now, at a conscious level, Kathy didn't know I was doing this for her. At a super and subconscious level, absolutely, it was having an effect. It was only a few days after 3 nights of healing where I felt this spaciousness in my body, and I felt this overwhelming feeling of her awakening and arriving in her consciousness of honoring and loving herself. And it was only a few days after those 3 nights, she left him. She left him. And after she left him, she got in contact with me and she said, I completely and utterly realized what I was doing and that he was never going to change and I was never going to be safe and I would never be able to trust him and that I deserved better. And she got on to quantum freedom healing, which was so interesting because she'd always resisted it. And she was like, Mel, what is it that you do? Because I'm really interested. And she got into quantum freedom healing and she got into NARP and she continued her healing and her work. She ended up getting a really good, she didn't have a lot to settle with him, but she was able to get her stuff out of the house and so on and so forth. And now she's in a beautiful relationship with a guy named Mark who treats her like a queen in a really healthy way. So I really want you to know it is so possible to help the people that you love who are suffering narcissistic abuse, but it's not the way you would think it is. I hope today's been helpful for you and it's going to give you hope and peace that you are not powerless in regard to those that you love. Okay. All right. That's it from me. Lots of love and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.